Hi, my name is Lori Alexander, and when I was growing up, my parents never allowed foul language to be spoken in our home. In fact, I never heard either my mother or my father ever use any type of swear word. My husband was raised in the same type of home, and he was really strict with our children. In fact, he didn't even want them to say gosh, oh my gosh, because it sounded like, because gosh isn't even a word. It sounds like too much like God. And he didn't ever want my children to ever use anything even close to God's name in vain, since we're commanded not to. And so I just wanted to speak on this subject today because I notice a lot of young women who are Christians on their social media use foul language. The F word is used freely and other words. And we're commanded as godly Christian women to not let any unwholesome word come out of our mouth. In fact, it's in Ephesians 4:29, and it says, "Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good." No foul language is good, to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearer. So no foul language is to proceed out of our mouth. And if you think of the F word that is so freely spoken today, I told in my last video, I talked about something I read, a Miley Cyrus interview, and the F word was in almost every sentence she used. It's just so ugly to me. It's a word that perverts something that God has made beautiful. And so we should, no foul language should we use. And if you're hanging around people that use a lot of foul language, you might want to find new friends, because bad company corrupts good morals. Don't watch television shows that use foul language. We're not supposed to let anything unwholesome, we're supposed to dwell on the lovely and the pure. Don't read novels or with anything with foul language, because bad company corrupts good, bad company corrupts good morals is absolutely a fact. I remember being a waitress before I got married, and everyone was using foul language. And at that time I was sewing something, and I remember in my mind using that foul language. It didn't come out of my mouth because I just hadn't practiced that ever. I knew that it was wrong, and I just never used foul language. So just being around those people corrupted my thoughts. So we must be very careful about the company that we keep. The wise man walks with the wise. Find wise friends, women, and walk with them. And then a couple other things I wanted to say. There's a verse in Proverbs that says, "As a jewel in a swine's or pig's snort, so is a fair woman which is without discretion." And it's Proverbs 11:12. So a woman who uses foul language is beautiful as a pig with a ring in its nose. That's how ugly it is to God and to many others. And so I looked up the word discretion, and in my book, in fact, it's right here. I'm saving it for. I have a whole chapter on being discreet, because older women are supposed to teach young women to be discreet. It's something that's definitely badly needed in our culture. And so I looked up discretion. Even though I'd written a whole book on it, I've studied, I still always like to study more. And in this one dictionary that I looked up, it said showing good judgment in conduct and in speech. Good conduct in speech. That's part of being discreet. Prudent, cautious, conducting oneself wisely. Using foul language is not conducting oneself wisely. It's not drawing anyone closer to you. All it is doing is polluting the air around you and those who listen to you. So if you weren't modeled or taught to not use foul language, you can do it. You just have to remind yourself, take every thought captive, speak less maybe until you learn not to use foul language. Hang around those who don't use foul language. Ask people to not use foul language around you. If your husband uses it, you can appeal to him in a kind and gentle way, but then you have to practice 1 Peter 3:1-6 and win them without a word by your godly and chaste behavior, by your words, that aren't using foul language, and by your pure speech, your gracious speech that gives grace to others instead of polluting them. So anyway, women, be careful what you write on social media too. Don't use foul language. It's easy to not write a foul word. Definitely just leave it out, erase it before you publish it. And then as you practice it, you'll become perfect and you won't use foul language anymore. And then teach your children to not use foul language, because it's not something that they want to, if you train them when they're young to not use foul language, it's easy for me not to use foul language because I was trained not to. And it's easy for my children not to use foul language because they were trained not to. So train your children to speak only words that are good and give grace to those who hear. Bye-bye.